She came in like a bloom from the British parade, tulips a dick with a smile that never fades. The anti-corruption minister, oh, what a role. But her family back home, digging into the gold. Billions vanished, the papers did scream. Turns out the tulip's roots weren't so clean. In Westminster halls, she took her last stroll. Now her name's on the scandals on a roll. Oh, tulip, tulip, what's that smell? Some flowers stink like a tale to tell. From the garden of power to the compost heap, the tulip's bloom was rotten deep. Her family in Dhaka made quite the score, stealing billions while the poor stayed poor. Ethics, she claimed, I'll uphold them all, but her roots were tangled and the mighty did fall. Her speeches were sweet, but the truth was sour. The tulip wilted in her finest hour. When the questions bloomed, she couldn't withstand. Turns out her bouquet had a stain on its hand. They say every rose has its thorn, it's true, but this tulip came with a stench that grew. Anti-corruption, oh what a twist. The irony's thicker than a foggy mist. Oh, tulip, tulip, what's that smell? Some flowers stink like a tale to tell. From the garden of power to the compost heap, the tulip's bloom was rotten deep. Now the lesson here's simple for those in power. Even the prettiest blooms can go sour. When your roots are steeped in a muddy past, the stink of scandal will grow fast. Oh, tulips at Dick, farewell, goodbye. The garden is pruning your place in the sky. For flowers like tulip with a tale to sell, it turns out they can smell like, well, you can tell.
Yeah, what's the sound of? Hi everyone, it's Miss Belladonna Nightshade. Wonderful to see you all here today. Oh, fantastic. As you can tell, it's another crazy day. As the world just seems to go nuts. So, the reason why I played that song today, in case if you're an American, Tulip Sadiq is a member of the Labour Party, and they put her in charge of anti-corruption ministry in the United Kingdom. And the only problem is she's a member, and all her money comes from like her auntie, and she stole billions of dollars, and then fled the country in a scandal, and all those poor Bangladeshis. And just stole their money, and that's the money that Tulip Sadiq has been raised on. And of course, because of that corruption, it allows her to become powerful. In one generation, become powerful in the UK government. Yeah, 'cause that's all that matters, you know, is that moolah coming in. And so, but just the insanity, the anti-corruption minister is now being investigated for corruption, but she was corrupt before they put her in that position and then got rid of her. It's nuts. And Wayne says, oh, thank you, Wayne, for joining. Oh, fantastic. Wayne and Alan are my two That's Thralls. They're members to my channel, and they are just marvelous, marvelous people. So say hi to them. I appreciate them so much. So I got something. We'll go ahead and get into the news here, but I have something. Let's see if it's gonna work. I gotta do something here. All right. If you want to interact a little more, what I did was I made for super chats where if you give like a $5 super chat, you can give me a head pat. Let's see. I have to trigger these myself because YouTube doesn't have this kind of stuff. But for $5 super chat, this is what you get. Oh, thank you. Oh, I know. It's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, you want to thank me and give me a head pat. Or I made it more expensive because it is a pleasure. Or else for $7 super chat, you can give me the spray bottle. Oh boy, I tried this. Here we go. Oh, no. Oh, I'm all wet. I don't like this at all. So, oh boy. So, yeah, so if you want to be a little more interactive, you want to have some fun, I thought I'd try that. So, and of course, you can just watch for free, obviously. So, let's see what else we got here. So that was Tulip Sadiq, and she's complaining that because the Bangladeshi Prime Minister or some official in Bangladesh wants their money back, that she isn't going to get a fair trial in the investigation. Well, you know damn well they're going to cover it up anyway, so nothing will happen to her. Let's see. So, yeah, we got some crazy stuff going in the Middle East. We had Iran attacked. Well, now they're telling us that Iran told everybody that they were going to attack. Well, they attacked some air bases in Qatar, near Doha, which is the capital of Qatar. Let's see, I've got some pictures here, some videos. Let's see. Let me see here. Oh, don't tell me this isn't gonna work. All right, we'll try anyways. Okay, yeah, here's some missiles, some Iranian missiles being shot at Qatar. Always gotta have the lame music. Quite the cozy war zone, isn't it? And I think this is just about the same thing, but through somebody's window in Qatar.
La ilaha illallah.
So nothing struck, nothing hit.
Southwest, coming from the direction of Al-Udeid. Windows are shaking. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Probably Patriot.
Okay. Alright, nothing more happens in that one. So, like I said, it turns out that Iran had told everyone, we're gonna fire these missiles. And, one missile for every bomb the U.S. dropped. So, Alan says, I don't think the super chats are working. Damn it. Well, thanks for trying, Alan. Thanks for trying. I even had alarms and everything. So, let me see. I'll go take a look. Let me see if they're enabled right now. But that figures. Okay. Alright. No one ever can say I have things planned out. Let's see. According to this, it's enabled. But I don't know. So, let's see. And did you try, Alan, that super chat on YouTube? Weirdo channel, yeah, you got that right, Gary. It's quite weird. Haunted puppet, inhabited by that and a more. Oh, now he says we're morons. Let's see. the idiots. Well, have fun, Gary, because what kind of idiot tells other idiots that they're idiots? Don't you have anything better to do? Of course not. Nah, no, I don't think so. So, let's see. Alright, so, now that we have that, what else we got here? I can go over here, I think. So, let's see. Alright. And, okay. It's got what's to stay there for the health cares. Just you gotta be a real weirdo to talk to other people that you don't like. Oh, Alan did it! Alan, it worked! Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for doing that because I wanted to see if that functionality worked. So thank you. So, at least I know now that that works. And let's see, what else we got here? So, we got here news. So, apparently, Iran told everybody, like I said, and so everyone knew it was going to happen. Now Trump is saying that, nothing, that he hasn't planned to escalate it any further. So, and at the same time, they're still being attacked in Iran by Israel. So it just goes on. But another interesting thing that was happening was no head pads or spray bottles. If you like, Alan, I have it as head pads for $5 super chats, and I have the spray bottle for $7 super chats. But let's go ahead and test out head pad. So let's try that. So, thank you, Alan. Thank you so much. Oh, I know, I'm a good girl. I'm such a good girl. So, and Gary Barrett says, show your face, weirdo. No, you show your face, weirdo. What a goofball. What a real goofball. So, another thing that happened in Iran itself today is they struck what was called the Evin prison in Tehran. And here it is. Philip says, "Go down. Hi, Philip. Wonderful that you joined us." So this is the gate outside Evin House of Detention, which is in Tehran. And let's see. Okay. And then there's a video. The gate being struck. Hard to tell that it's the same gate, but it's supposed to be. So, that's supposed to be that gate. And that was just struck, and this supposedly is where all the political prisoners and everything are being kept. So, yeah. Well, come on. I did that. Alan's so wonderful. He gave me a head tap. That was good enough. No one else could you need a super chat, so he deserves it. So, so let's play that again. Oh, we know, Gary Barrett isn't gonna give me any head pats, that's for sure. Yeah. Oh, and I had more fun. I went and did my usual test before the stream, and nothing was working. But yeah, everything wasn't working. My puppet wasn't showing up, even though it was showing up just minutes before. But nothing was working at all. So I finally got it all working. So it's a couple minutes later than normal. But I think it's Streamlabs. I think Streamlabs isn't that. This is what I used to stream with. I think it's a little glitchy. So I'll find out as time goes on. But yeah, just before you go live, you gotta test everything. And sure enough, when I tested it, things weren't right. Really strange. And this is an overhead picture of the Evin prison again. Political prisoners supposedly are kept there. So they broke the gate out, and then they announced that it was like, it was symbolic. for regime change. There's still guards. They said some of the guards fled, but supposedly there are still guards there with guns, so it'd be hard for all the prisoners to escape. But it's horrible that places like this exist in this world. And there's some awful videos. I just couldn't put them up for YouTube. Supposedly showing what they do to the political prisoners in Evan. Very, very unpleasant. Philip says, "You are a most beautiful person." That is so nice of you. That is so nice of you, Philip. Yeah, you can keep on stroking my ego because I am most vain as an evil vampire. So, feel free. Evil empire, yes. The evil vampire talks about the evil empire of Iran. Kind of goes together. You kind of wonder if there's some kind of correlation. Like evil vampires are running everything. Lady Pep says they have to go through at least 6 locked doors to get out. Yeah, so probably no one escaped, huh? That's a shame. Tim Boatwright. Hey everyone. Well, hey Tim. Thank you for joining. Oh, it's just wonderful. Wonderful to see new people here. So, let's see, what else I got? I got another picture about this prison. It's another video. I imagine this is the grounds after the explosion. Thank you, Tim. Applause to you, too. Thank you so much for joining.
که مورد اصالت قرار گرفته و نورایم دیدی بخش عمده ای از آتش رو خاموش کردن اما هنوز بود از اونجا بلند میشه.
Yeah, what was this? This was awesome. Yeah, that's outside. We were walking around. Yeah, I think it was outside. Awesome. I'll go ahead and end it there, but just horrible, just horrible. Islam never landed us upon the moon. No. Well, supposedly, no one but the U.S. has done that. Supposedly. We'll see. They do have pictures of the moonlanders taken from craft that have gone around, that are circling around, like this moon surveyor, mooncraft and stuff. So they do have pictures of those landers, and on the ones that had the rover, that electric car they brought with them on some of those moon landings. There's supposedly the vehicle tracks can still be seen. So that's pretty cool. All right, what else? And that's a whole conspiracy you can get into and everything about that. So, the last thing about Iran that I had for today was, let's see. You gave us Bob Dylan. Are you a big Bob Dylan fan, Philip? Like a rolling stone. Yeah, Bob Dylan was pretty influential, wasn't he, in the 60s? So let's see. This is the Crown Prince of Iran. Tim's laughing. Thought that was Minnesota, Steven says. Yeah, that could be a picture of Minnesota, but it's too tidy. It's too neat. And it looks too civilized to be Minnesota. So, pay more John Lennon. Okay, alright. Yeah, the 60s had such marvelous music from the UK. It's amazing that so much wonderful music has come out of the UK. The 60s, 70s, and the 80s. But nowadays, I don't know. Everything just crap on both sides of the pond. But whatever. Okay, so this is the Crown Prince. He's in the U.S. Reza Pahlavi. I probably butchered that. But So it still sounds like there's plans underway to restore him to power, bring him to power. He was the grandson of the Shah. So we'll see. And Shah means king.
I'm stepping in to lead this transition. I don't believe I need a title to play that role. The important thing is to be someone who can galvanize the nation, unite as much as possible the majority of democratically minded secular forces within the opposition and the political spectrum, as I mentioned. But most importantly, how can we, post-collapse, step into that phase of transition, working together, of course, with many elements who are in Iran today, who will be joining us in that effort to make sure that we can stabilize the transition phase. As in the past few hours, as you mentioned, two other targets were hit, which from the point of view of Iranians have been part of the regime's means of repression all along. The base of the IRGC, that has been always an element of repression, together, even though you might think it's symbolic, but it's very meaningful, the doors of Evin prison, without harming the prisoners inside, but basically tearing down a wall. And to me, Evin is a prison within a prison. A regime that has taken our countrymen hostage from day one. So I think Iranians are seeing that. I can imagine right now a political prisoner in Evin prison, what he thinks about that. Our time is coming. Finally, all these movements, all these movements that people have tried to fight and died for, fighting an unequal war against an extremely repressive regime, now the regime is even weaker than it was yesterday, because two other instruments, one that incarcerates them, another one that strikes them, is being eliminated. I think these are things that are, in the view of our people, positive, and they know that this is not targeting our country, it's targeting our regime, because the only war that matters here is the war that the regime is waging on the Iranian people, and we're talking about winning that war against them.
Okay. So that's the Crown Prince. So it looks like things are happening behind the scenes. We'll see. So, because all the bonding in the world will do nothing. Unless there's boots on the ground, unless there's a popular uprising, you can bomb, you can destroy tens of thousands of targets by air, and as long as they have the guns and no one stops them, they'll still be in power. So, hopefully there's an end game to this more than that awful regime stays in power. But it definitely isn't our fight to go in there and fight it for them. Definitely not. So, and also, who would be grateful if that happens anyways? And Lady Pip says, I am more of a Sid Vicious lady. Yeah, the Sex Pistols. Yeah, they were really something else. And what is it, Johnny Rotten? I forget what his real name is. It's really interesting that he's come out and he's been more public and everything. And he talks about things. He has a really interesting perspective. And of course, not being a leftist is now, being anything but a leftist is now seen as revolutionary in this crazy, perverse world. So I enjoy when he speaks up. And Philip Payne says, you are the 60s now. Yeah, I'm a lot older than 60, I tell you. I said, I'm pre-boomer. I don't know what that makes me. It's just amazing I can figure out tech at all. And Helen's no help at all. Alan's supposed to be my IT specialist, but no, he's no help at all. But Alan did build a new computer. He built up a new computer, and he only slightly electrocuted himself. So, way to go, Alan. Way to go. I gotta give him credit. Where credit is due. So, yeah, only slightly electrocuted himself. So everything's alright. Okay, well, yeah, I'm sorry. I about have the volume turned up all the way for that one. He's just talking about hopefully a post IRGC future for the Iranian people, and he's also talking, that you're growing weaker by the day as things goes on, and he also talked in other parts about how they have things happening now where regime elements can get in touch, and some of them obviously can be forgiven if they get on board now. So supposedly all that's happening in the background, and we'll see, because the Iranian people are gonna have to do it in the end. And Tom says, Captain Tom, Bloody Tom Flint says, I'm more of a Joey Ramone Lee. You're more of a lady, huh? Or are you more, I don't know how to take that, Tom. You're more of a lady or more of a Joey Ramone and a lady? Yeah, Ramones are cool too, but just some I don't know. I always think of them as kind of like some autistic boys from New Jersey. Tom's laughing. Maybe it was, I'm more of a Joey Ramone, lady to Lady Tip. I don't know, but I'm taking it that he's calling himself a lady, so Tom's gone trans on it. Well, I'm a vampire inhabiting a haunted puppet, talking about news and crap I don't understand anything about, so yeah, so maybe Tom could come out and become a pirate, trans person. We can all have fun, right? I think he meant Lady Tip. That's what it was. Yeah, no. And, oh yeah, this was a strange thing, so, Trump reacted to it. But the, former president of Russia, Medvedev, I think that's how you pronounce it, or Medvedev, I don't know, Medvedev, some kind of Ivan Ivanovich came out and said, that all countries should now give nuclear warheads to Iran. So, let's see. So Trump didn't like that. And whoops. Okay, gotta make this smaller. Damn it. Okay. So Trump in his Trump fashion, did I hear former President Medvedev, Ivan Medvedev. Yeah, I'm sure it's Ivan something. Okay, from Russia, casually throwing out the N-word, nuclear, then saying that he and other countries would supply nuclear warhead to Iran? You gotta be kidding me. Did he really say that? Or is it just a figment of my imagination? If he did say that, and if confirmed, please let me know immediately. The N-word should not be treated so casually. I guess that's why Putin's the boss. Yeah, Putin is Bruce Springsteen in Russia. Yeah, he goes around and plays crappy, angry folk songs and crap. Overblown folk song, yeah. So in Russia, Putin is the boss. Yeah. By the way, if anyone thinks our hardware was great over the weekend, far and away the strongest, very Trumpian, isn't it? And best equipment we have, 20 years advanced over the pack, is our nuclear submarines. They are the most powerful and lethal weapons ever built, and just launched the 30 Tomahawks. All 30 Tomahawks hit the mark perfectly. Beautiful. Like however Trump was it. Our beautiful Tomahawks are crows they're perfect. They're perfectly lovely. All 30 hit the mark, and that's all in addition to our great fighter pilots. Thank you, the captain and crew. Alan says Donald's in a bunker. Tony Bunker, he's in his is at McDonald's eating a Big Mac probably. He was McDonald's. So Ivan Medvedev said, no, he didn't mean that. He didn't mean that at all. So he retracted. He said, oh, just terrible that the U.S. bombed Iran. Just awful. Yeah, okay, so he backtracked already, and I think Putin said, what the heck? Medvedev, what the heck was that about? I think at this point, Russia and China just wants this crap over with. And, I guess for Russia, while, oil prices was up, that was kind of a positive for them. But let me check something here. Last I saw, let's see here. Gas was up. Not gas, oil was up $5 a barrel. Let me see if that's still true. Doink. Back there. Nope, not there. Yeah, crude oil's up $5 a barrel. Yeah, markets haven't closed here in the U.S. So yeah, looks like it's all over, at least for the U.S. involvement at the moment. You know? What else? Though who knows? You know, Trump can wait till, it usually happens around 4 a.m. local their time that the bombings happen. So we'll see. If we get past that, Iran time, I guess we might be getting near that. Then yeah, that probably wasn't going to be a retaliatory attack for sure. And okay. Well, this was some wonderful news. This happened in Florida. So let me go ahead and put this video on.
My name is Bill Berger, B-E-R-G-E-R, United States Marshal, Middle District of Florida, and I am overwhelmed by the results of this operation. Operation Dragonfly, the largest in the history of the United States Marshal Service.
Okay, what this was, they saved 60 children from child exploitation. I'm not sure if exactly what it was, if it was the sex work or if it was labor, but they were able to free 60 children.
If not the history of the United States. As the AG mentioned, 60 juveniles recovered in 2 weeks, ranging from age 9 to 17 years of age. Several years ago, Atlanta had a similar operation, which resulted in the recovery of 30 children over 6 weeks. This effort was a collaboration of, as the AG mentioned, 20 agencies with over 100 people involved. I want to thank the AG for providing the statewide special prosecutors. I want to say special thanks to Sheriffs Chronister, Golteri, and Naco, FD Lee, of course, our police chiefs, my friends, Lee Burkall and Tony Holloway, Hillsborough County State Attorney, Susie Lopez, who many will be speaking in the very near future. It should be noted that Tampa Mayor Jane Castor and former Mayor Bob Buckhorn also visited the command post and spoke to our team, emphasizing the importance of this operation. We put together this operation emphasizing recoveries, but I can tell you I stressed arrest because experience tells us if the offenders are not apprehended, they will reconnect with these children. They are, in my opinion, leeches. Behind me, you will see the pictures of 8 persons who were arrested and charged with crimes ranging from human trafficking, child endangerment, drug possession, and trafficking. When arrested, they were given bonds ranging from no bond to $250 million bond. I've never heard of that before. Finally, it is important to give credit where credit is due. The one person who was tasked with setting up this operation and universally has been recognized by all people involved is Deputy U.S. Marshal Mario Price. Mario will make himself available after this conference.
So, yeah, Lady Pip says, is this the children from the tunnels? I don't know about that, but this was an operation in Florida, Lady Pip. So, just wonderful to see it. Has to do with, let me play the very beginning where he says who he is. Let's say.
My name is Bill Berger, B-E-R-G-E-R, United States Marshal, Middle District of Florida.
Yeah, U.S. Marshals. This was the U.S. Marshals. This is like basically another police force. And the Marshal Service, for the Federals, they do a lot of moving around prisoners and stuff. So if a prisoner has to leave federal prison to go to another court trial, it's U.S. Marshals that are moving them if they have to be moved from one facility to another. So, but they were apparently involved in an investigation. So, more than that, I don't know. But it's wonderful to see that these are taking place. Because I don't remember much of this going on at all under the Biden administration, other than they were bringing in hundreds of thousands of children, and by all words, many of those disappeared. So let's see. Okay. So Bob, which is Alan, because I call him Alan. I call Alan Bob because he angers me so much I'm going to toss him in the sea someday. Yeah. So I call him Bob because that's what he's going to be doing someday. So yeah, right into the sea someday, I tell you. Okay. And Bob has worked it out now, user in different tiers on Super Chat. Okay, we'll see. I'll see if it pops up, Alan. And if it does, oh no, it's even worse than it just happening. Buenos tardes. Yes, hello to you. Good afternoon. Wonderful evening to you, Lawrence. Oh, thank you for joining us. Let's see here. So, like I said, so this was an operation in Florida. It's wonderful to see these happening. And I hope there's many more. And I hope they get to the bottom. Like I said, supposedly there's been hundreds of thousands of children that were brought in during the Biden administration. And they seem to have disappeared from the system. So, I don't know. Hope for the best. I really hope for the best. So, that they could be freed. It's a situation that we're in found. And, let's see here. I didn't see much today in the news for the UK. Is there anything that anyone would like to talk about that's going on in the UK that I don't know about? I saw something about David Lammy saying something stupid, you know, David Lammy of all people. What? Rio, Foreign Secretary tells Iran. David Lammy, yeah, David Lammy is like the, Secretary of State, for the UK. And boy, is he a dumbass. And Lawrence says a very sad situation, yes, with children. Yeah, I mean, talk about, starting out your life, with no hope, being, whether it's the sexual exploitation or labor, to be a child laborer. My understanding is, like countries like, Bangladesh, children labor is just terrible there. And, how they exploit everything. Just so they can sell us clothing at a high price that they had made for pennies on the dollar, Yeah, it's all profit for them. We don't see it cheaper over here because of that. But just terrible. And David Lammy is not pro or anti-Israel, but his voters hate Israel. Always talk about Zionism like Iran. Yeah, if your constituents are a bunch of Muslims, well, that means you have to be concerned with their concerns. So, yeah, nothing's gonna get better by bringing in more and more. It won't get better, that's for sure. And that's why I kind of worry about Nigel Farage. Some of the things he says, he definitely seems to want to compromise on a lot of things, given the choice. So, but I'm in the States, so I don't know any better. So, I don't know if he's being strategic, but we'll see. The unpopularity of the Labour government in the UK it just seems like it keeps on plunging. So, what else we have? I think that was it for today. I didn't have much else to talk about. I'll double check, see if I missed anything. This was, I guess I had this picture. This was Trump monitoring the situation as the missiles were going off towards Bahrain. And there's his general, he calls Raising Cane. And Lawrence says Muslims and communists. Now Nigel wants to remove the 2-child limit for welfare. And as Tommy puts it, that is a subsidy for Muslim families with 12 children. Yeah, because they have multiple wives, and the multiple wives just go ahead and apply for those services as separate. Just lie and everything. No one's gonna check it. It's encouraged anyways. So very crazy. But this picture of Trump, I forget her name, so maybe someone can tell me her name. See this lady in yellow? Lady Cut says, I can remember seeing a video where Nancy Pelosi said pedophilia is good for children. Really? Oh, wow. I hope not. Well, oh, wow. I mean, she is perverse enough. Lady Ted, if you do find that, please share that with me on say X, if you want. You can also leave a link as a comment under my video. So, yeah. Boy, oh, that's disgusting. She did. Okay, I'll try to find it too. And Laura says, Susie. Thank you. I still can't remember her last name. Lauren says, Susie, Chief of Staff. Yeah. So, for you in the UK, this lady right here is, after Trump, is probably the most important woman in the U.S. executive branch of government. This lady here is Trump's chief of staff, and chief of staffs. I wish I remembered some things from Game of Thrones, but I guess it's chief of the Privy Council or something like that, in like kingdoms and stuff. But they're the gatekeepers, and she is very powerful. So she's the one that schedules everything. Who's gonna talk to Trump and everything. And I know. And Philip says, my dearest Belladonna, where does conscious end? Yeah, talking about anybody being pro-pedophilia. Ugh. But Susie here, I can't remember her last name, very powerful. And she seems to be the right person in the position, because she is so protective of Trump, But the problem that happens with these positions, I guess power goes to your head, but you could be a little too controlling, right? You could be a little too controlling. You could start thinking you're doing the right thing by, say, shielding the president. But she really seems to have Trump's pulse. She really seems to understand what he really wants and desires. So, there isn't much you have to keep away from Trump, but at the same time, somebody has to act as a filter, as you can imagine. Somebody has to be a filter. But from everything I see, she appears to be really wonderful, and she's really strong, and she doesn't take any crap. So she's very protective. She's definitely like a mother tiger for Trump, you know. She's very protective. But just look at her. She's sitting there, just sitting there staring over at the general there, and the general's answering her. Well, let's see a question back to her, you know. She's a very interesting person, and looks like just the right person that Trump put in place this time. 'Cause before he always had snakes. They're all snakes. They're all trying to figure out how to manipulate things with their own agenda, their own power bases. So, and Stephen gave me a thumbs up. Thank you, Stephen. And Lauren says in Britain, the internet is only conscious of Trump's globalists doing what the Zionists want. So stay off it, 'cause there I split from the right. Yeah, okay. Well, it's hard to argue that point, because yeah, he is doing what Israel wants, and it is very powerful. Very big power in the United States, and we have so many congressmen that have dual citizenship. And I really hate that. I don't care. I don't care if you're a Jew or whatever. I don't think people in our federal government, let alone state government, should have dual allegiances, you know? But they say our Constitution doesn't stop it. But I'd like to see that change, because it should be America first. Just like in the UK, it should be Britain first. So, yeah, I know what you're saying, Lawrence. I don't necessarily disagree with it. So, and Philip says, T-Rex, bang a gong. Yeah, that's a good song. And when it comes to war, that's about what all it's about, isn't it? And Brady Pitch says, she be a strong lady. Yeah, she is. She's something else. I said that picture sums it up for me. You know, just that look. The general was talking to her. She is sitting right there. Yeah. So, and then Trump just looking down on both of them. It's really a wonderful picture the more I look at it. And Stephen says, Rhino cowards. Yeah, that's what runs our, in the Republican Party. Trump has to work with them. That's the bad thing, because it's such a slim majority because the voter fraud. There still is massive voter fraud on the Democrat side. So plenty of people are still where they shouldn't be. So he has to work with them. What Rhino means, if you're from the UK, they call some Republicans rhinos, and Republicans are the party of President Trump, supposedly, right? Trump's kind of his own party. But rhino means Republican in name only. And you use that term for the globalists. Then, I guess you can also include the Republican Zionists, because, they always put Israel first, but Republican in name only. So that's what they're called. So if you ever see that term, that's what that means. And Lord says, I want the head of the snake, and it's not so easy, but I'm biased. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay, Lawrence. I hope we're not monolithic here. And, well, I don't like the Iranian regime. I don't like the idea of the mullahs ruling over 90 million people. I'm not crazy about Israel either, we'll see. And Israel better not think that, just because this ends, that's it for them. Because Egypt is gonna explode. That's gonna be really nasty. That's gonna happen within the next few years. Sisi has been ruling with an iron thumb over there. And it will be the Islamists, the Sunni Islamists that take over that country. So, so if I was them, I wouldn't, even if they can install the new Shah Iran, and things work out right, and Iran doesn't descend into total chaos and civil war. They have other things they gotta worry about. So, let's see. And Warren says Ukraine is an old rhino neocon. Yes, war. And we'll be stuck in it forever. I don't see how it can go on forever. You know, unless Europe wants to step in, Bush and up to want to step in, I don't see how that war can go on forever. On both sides, Russia has more men, but both of these countries have a shortage of men. It cannot go on forever. So, unless Europe steps in, which I hope doesn't happen, and I don't want to get involved in that. So, yeah, it's ugly. It's just mass killing of troops. Modern warfare is very nasty. You already have what artillery can do, and now the drones and everything. Just a horrible battlefield it is. A true meat grinder. Probably only anything worse was back in World War I. So, and just imagine if strong power like the U.S. got involved. If people don't realize that when the U.S. gets involved in things, you see the U.S. maybe leading something after it gets in a war, like the Iran-Iraq war. Both of those, we did a lot of freaking killing. You might have a couple of thousand lives of American, but the second Iraq war, people don't realize this. They wanted to test out a bomb. I forget what it was called, but back then they were showing it and advertising it and all the war things like on the History Channel and stuff. What it is, it's this bomb, and it separates, and then it drops thousands of these what kind of explosives are these called? I forget. Sheet explosive charges, and they have like a laser light, and they wobble down, and the laser, it's either a laser, or else it might even be a little radar unit, and when it hits like a certain target, it shoots out, it's a shaped charge, so it shoots out molten slug of metal, and there's thousands of these, and the U.S. had already won the war, but again, when we go to war, it's to test weapons. People don't realize it. It's to test weapons. We had already won the war, and a lot of these Iraqi troops, well, they were Shiites that were coerced into going to battle. We had already won the war. It was already over, and they decided to drop this bomb on an Iraqi, what was it? Division. And the division could have been anywhere from like 13,000 up to 30,000. And my understanding is this one bomb wiped out, killing 13,000 people. And totally unnecessary. Just to try out the bomb, because it's never been tried out in war at the end of the war. Yeah, hey, and you wonder why the Shiites were so upset? Yeah, I know there was Iran involved, but all those families of all those men who were probably, a lot of them were probably Shiites who didn't want to be in there, were killed just to test out a bomb. Do you know how furious they were? So, yeah, that when U.S. gets involved, a lot of killing happens. So it's not okay. So I don't want us involved. I really don't, And let's see. And let's see here. And Lady Tip, the general is turning his whole body to face her. Yes. Yeah. it shows how, and she isn't. She's just turning her head to the side. So it shows power. Yeah. She's just turning her head. And body line, yes. Yeah, that's why I like that picture. And where it says there won't be regime change in Iran for the reason you say. Yeah. Yeah, because I fear civil war. But we'll see. And in World War II, London got bombed for 57 nights. Really. Yes. Yeah, and it wasn't targeted strikes either. Not like modern day where there's targeted strike. Okay, and Lauren says they dropped those targeted bunker busters in Top Gun sequels, so Iran must have known they were coming. And yes, there's pictures, I don't know, satellite or by aircraft showing days before the attack. And you notice they're free to do stuff during the day, especially if they think the U.S. is gonna attack. Because U.S. almost always does it during the nighttime. They were bringing in truckloads. They had like 30 trucks bringing in truckloads of sand. But then they saw long bed trucks where they could have been removing what are those things called? The centrifuges. Were they removing the centrifuges? Maybe removing the centrifuges. So yeah, so much is going on behind the scene. Now, was Iran tipped off? I don't know why we'd want them to say the centrifuges. Was Iran tipped off, or they just use common sense? You know, the U.S. is talking about it. You know they're gonna do it. So during the daytime, they got stuff, and then they got out as much, and especially the enriched uranium, they got out as much as they could. So, but you can look that up. It's on the internet. So let's see. Yeah, and Alan said nasty. Yeah, fighting the U.S. You know, even if you outlast us and we get tired politically, doesn't mean you won, you know? Yeah, it doesn't mean you won, because do a lot of whooping with the power we have. And like in Afghanistan, but yeah, a couple of thousand troops over 20 years is nothing. You know, I'm not diminishing those people's lives or anything, but it's nothing to the tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands, and we were going out of our way, you know, because we are just destroying a mud hut. So, but messing with the United States is kind of stupid in this day and age. It really is. And if we get riled up, it's like that. You know, I don't want to sit here and talk about it today. They have so much weapons now, and systems and everything that are just built for mass casualties. They have the newest where they have where they take C-130s. I think they extended the range up to like up to close to 1,000 miles or 1,000 kilometers. I know there's a big difference, you know, 600 miles compared to 1,000 miles, but I think they extended the range. It might be kilometers, but they can stay away. They can take the C-130s to within that range, and then what they do is they have racks and racks of these missiles. If you ever seen a C-130, and I think they're cruise missiles, they push them out, and rats and rats of 10s or 20 missiles or so come out. It goes like upside down, the missile falls out, and then it activates and it goes towards its target. And I don't know, you put 3 or 4 rats on one C-130, and you have all of these missiles striking your targets, and absolutely devastating. Just the forces they have now. You know, And, 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 yeah, and in the years to come, not just the U.S., but drones, there's no reason why you can't flood a battlefield with human-seeking drones by the thousands. And it won't just be the United States, I'll be everyone doing that. Where it just seeks out, little drones with a little bit of TNT on them, just seeks out a human body or smart enough to go into a bunker and seek people out. And then you could also send hundreds of the little robot drones again just to kill people. And so modern warfare is not getting nicer, not getting more pleasant, especially when the sides decide to fight it all out, not restrict things. So, and Alan says, yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. We still find World War II bombs. Yeah. Well, I even occasionally, like, a few years ago, like in Belgium or something, World War I bombs. They have to deal with that. So amazing. It really is. Lady Tip says, Alan, I found one on the beach in Cornwall. What? Wow. What kind of bomb? Was it a bomb? Was it a mine? Like an ocean mine? What did you find, Lady Tip? That's fascinating. Yeah, can you imagine that? But, yeah, and you still gotta watch out for that stuff. A bomb. About how big was it, Lady Tip? Roughly. Yeah, I want to hear about this. I'm more interested in that. Walking on the beach, finding a bomb? Ooh. Let's see. No? Okay. But, yeah, imagine that. Part down still meat. Safe mustard shell. Yeah. Portadown still makes safe. Okay, so that must be a disposal place in the UK. 12 to, Lady Tip says 12 to 15 inches. Yeah, that's a good size. Yeah. Wow. That's scary, isn't it? That is really scary, walking on the beach. So Portadown still makes safe mustard shells from World War I. Wow. Can you imagine what the stockpiles must have been like if they're still destroying them? And mustard gas, that just nasty stuff. That's why I said World War I was just totally inhumane. Just monsters. And, then they had to do human wave attacks against machine gun and trench machine gun. Oh, horrible. Mustard gas just burns everything, attached to mucous membranes, causes blistering of the eyes, your nose, your mouth, your lungs, and then chlorine gas, and then the stuff, phosgene, I guess that's like, I don't know, what is it? That's like an insecticide or something, just a nerve agent. Oh, just terrible. Ugh. Yeah, more I read about World War I, just the horror of that, and China, it's just horrible. And let's see. So, yeah, I guess I don't have too much to talk about. I think that's the news for today. But anyone have anything else they want to share? We'll give one more chance, and then we'll call it quits for today. I started, I don't know if you're interested in this. It's some more silliness, but on Twitch, I have a Twitch channel. It's called Belladonna Nightshade Vamp. So, short for vampire, vamp. Belladonna Nightshade Vamp. And I'm on Twitch. And what I did was I'm playing some game. It's called Wuthering Waves. And I'm terrible at gaming. So, if this is something you're interested in and you like to have some fun with somebody who's really bad at video games, I ain't taking it serious. Cause I don't know about you, but also it's so pointless. You just go around collecting a bunch of crap for the sake of collecting more crap, and you get more crap, and you get to to kill more things for, I don't know why, but you get to, and you're supposed to get more powerful and collect more crap to become more powerful, to kill more powerful things, so you collect more crap. Wow, it's like a real life simulator, isn't it? You just gather more crap the whole time. and then it's all over. So, I want to thank everybody. If you're interested, let's see. Maybe in about 3 hours I might start. I only do it for about an hour and a half, because it's a little boring. I played it for 2 minutes and uninstall. Yeah, it's pretty mindless, Alan. Pretty mindless. So, thanks everyone. But if you just want to laugh, because my thought is people will join me in chat. We'll just make fun of everything. That's more fun. You know, playing the game is kind of boring, but chat. So you can chat on Twist, and we'll just have fun, and we'll just make fun of everything, and how stupid it is. So, thank you so much for joining me today. As always, it's wonderful that anybody would be interested in watching this. So, thank you. I hope you had the most wonderful evening, everyone. Take care. Bye now.